Cool. So, model live streams on TikTok. Now, can you all see my screen okay? Let's double check. Can everyone see? Can I get some thumbs up, some yeses? Yeah, you're the only person whose video I can see for some reason, so on the side of the screen, so you can see everything okay? Cool. Good stuff. Let's get into it. So, look, no doubt you guys are aware that TikTok lives are a goldmine. There's no two ways about it. If you're scrolling down your feed now, you're going to see girls on girls on girls doing OnlyFans lives, and it really, really does work. Now, obviously, the first very, very minor hurdle you need to be getting past is going to be just getting to 1,000 followers so you can actually go live on TikTok. It should be easy enough, just follow the other TikTok lesson, get her kind of regularly posting. Now, first off, you want to set some really, really clear boundaries with your model. It's quite good to do this during the onboarding stage as well, which we've spoken about in the past in terms of setting clear expectations. So you should be choosing, 2 to 3 times per week for set amounts of time. 2 hours is usually the best kind of time, so around 8 till 10 p.m. In whatever country your subscribers are based, as usual. If she is US based, 8 till 10 p.m. where the US subs are, vice versa, UK, yada yada. So 8 till 10, 2 hours long. Now, the reason you want these TikTok lives to be pretty long is because over time they just naturally build. Now, the algorithm builds them up. Now, you may have a reach of, let's say you've got 1,000 followers on TikTok, right? And maybe 100 of them join, whatever. You're getting a really, really good interaction rate. Over time, TikTok is going to push that to a wider audience. Now, you want to be aiming for new followers and new subs. That's the whole point of these live streams. The whole point of these live streams is not to kind of just amuse the followers that already follow you, because they've seen your content for a while. The likelihood is they've probably subscribed. If they haven't subscribed by now, they're probably not going to. So this is all in an effort to obviously grow the TikTok presence, grow the model's personal brand, but then once again, obviously, as a result, grow her OnlyFans as well. Okay, so 8 till 10, make sure it's around prime time. There's no real point of a guy watching this and not being somewhere where he is horny, can masturbate, whatever, because it's just pointless. If a guy's watching it on his lunch break at work, likelihood of him dropping a follow and subscribing to the OnlyFans, pretty slim. All right, cool. So I've got 4 methods that have worked really, really well for us. Obviously, there's loads of methods. You guys are all creative individuals, but these are 4 that work really, really well, pretty consistently. And yeah, I've just kind of created a little bit of information about each one of the 4, and then some pros and cons of each as well. Now, the first one I want to talk about, something that potentially some of you guys may have seen before. I'm not really sure if you have or not. It was quite big in America for a little bit. It's essentially the getting fucked on live method. Now, this is the method where the model basically bounces up and down a very small amount, just basically like they're having sex off camera, but obviously their face is still in it. Now, it's been getting a lot of attention on TikTok recently. I'll actually let me just click this link for you guys. So this link here will show you. It's basically like a reaction video to one of these TikToks. Obviously, the actual ones get banned pretty much really, really quickly. But yeah, so it's going to be essentially the one where let's say I'm the model right now. You'd be bouncing up and down to imply that she's having sex with somebody off camera. Now, what's really, really important is this: there should be absolutely zero interaction between her and the viewers. Now, the viewers are going to be watching this. Their little minds are going to be racing. They're going to be thinking, what's going off on camera? What am I missing out on? I better check out her Instagram and subscribe. I better drop a follow on TikTok so I can see this again. What happens if the camera falls over? We're going to see something here. Wow. That's the general gist of the mindset you want them to be in. Now, pro of this, it is really, really easy. I mean, it's literally not difficult. You tell your model to set up a camera with her in front and bounce up and down a little bit. I'm not going to demonstrate it to you guys. You can all imagine, all right? So it's super, super easy for the model to actually set up. It's very low effort. I mean, at the end of the day, she's looking at a camera, emotionless, or maybe making the odd little face if she's that way inclined. But yeah, that's the main kind of the main benefit really. Is it's just so easy. Now it pushes people onto the OF as well, because obviously they want to see it behind the scenes. They want to see what actually is happening. But yeah, good stuff. So let me scooch on down. So, pushes people onto the earth. They want to see the behind the scenes. Now, the cons. Now, it's been done a lot recently. It has been done a lot. Some people are probably going to clock that it's fake and obviously blatant OnlyFans promo. It can be very, very boring for the model as well. This is not exactly the most engaging way. It doesn't really build up any kind of personal brand for her. This is not really something where someone's going to see her live. They're going to see her being really, really entertained. Whatever. it's just not going to build that kind of following up. The methods we're going to talk about next are going to be kind of, more away from the direct OnlyFans promotion, but kind of more focused on building up a bit more of a personal brand and obviously building up that subscriber interaction. Now, yeah, as I said here, so some people are going to clock it's fake. It's obviously fake. Anyone with half a brain can probably see that, but it's more just what it's implying. Okay, so it's okay. It does work. You can expect to sometimes get banned because often people will kind of hop onto it and do quite a lot of reports and things like that. As I put with that link up there, there's been a lot of reaction videos like it's so shocking that people have been allowed to do this, etc., etc. So probably I definitely wouldn't recommend doing it on a main account. Do it on a burner account. But yeah, I mean, give it a go, guys. It's personally not the one I choose nowadays. With there being more and more models and with there being more and more TikTok content being pushed out there. The kind of building up a personal brand, building up someone that a bit of influence, that kind of thing works way better. Cool. So next little option is the Q&A. So it's super simple. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science. Literally as simple as the viewers will ask questions in the TikTok comments, and your model will answer as well. All right. So massive pro, build your model's online persona up, and the future fans are going to become invested in her as a person. If they're asking her questions, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? And she says, a really clear example for this is like the football niche. Let's say the model is on live and she's wearing like a Manchester United top or an England shirt. Better to be an England shirt because obviously it's a little bit more broad of a reach. It worked quite well during all the Euros and the World Cup, that kind of thing. That is something that does really work. So let me scooch on down. So build your model's online persona, and the future fans are going to be invested in her as a person. Now, actually engaging for the model, it's far more interesting for her to do this for a couple of hours rather than just bounce up and down and staring directly into a camera. I should add as well, you guys can mix all of these little methods in together, but the one I mentioned just earlier with the bounce up and down, that's going to be more burner account. Okay, so really engaging for the model. It's going to be way more interesting for her to do, and there's also the potential for fans to try before they buy. They may ask certain questions. Obviously, nothing overly explicit. Your model's never going to answer that. TikTok will filter the comment before it even gets onto the live. But it'll be things like are you a top or a bottom, or when was the last time that you did something naughty or something, whatever. Those kind of questions are really direct and really engaging. Plus, less likely to over-report. So this Q&A here, try and niche it down a little bit. Maybe have her doing a Q&A, and maybe the caption is, talk to me about my favourite video, ask me questions about my favourite video games, or if that's what she's into, or ask me questions about football, or ask me questions about whatever. So in terms of the pros of that, it's a really good method. Now the cons, the model needs to be really careful not to say anything too explicit, or even so much as mention OnlyFans. It can be very tempting or accidental even for it to just slip off the tongue. As soon as that gets said, it will get twigged and you're going to be at the risk of a ban, right? So you need to just basically tell your model to be super careful. Now, it is obviously much higher effort and a bit more intense. Now, for 2 hours sitting and answering questions, it is quite intense. It will definitely tire your model out. Afterwards she's going to feel like absolutely drained, and that has cons in itself. You don't want her to see that she's working too hard. If you get a model that's got a good work rate, it really shouldn't be an issue, but it is quite high effort. Now, obviously, in terms of titling the live, test out what works for you guys. You can do things like, for more, check my Instagram, stuff like that works really well, because you're not really implying anything. You're just saying, for more content, check my Instagram. It's not really mentioning OnlyFans, but obviously it's implying it. You can even have let's say you do a football Q&A, gaming Q&A, whatever your model's niche is. All right, cool. So the next little element as well is going to be a live stream where it's like a get ready with me. Now you guys have probably all seen best way I can quick sip of water. The best way I can probably describe this is those makeup tutorials that girls watch. You'll know the ones that I mean, in terms of they'll be like putting a bit of powder on their face, they'll be putting a bit of cream on their face, they'll be doing a blush or whatever it is that they do. Now, if the model just does that pretty much while talking to a camera, obviously, she's putting makeup on, she probably, whether she's going on a night out or not, you can mix this into her weekly routine if she is the type of person that goes out as well. Let's say she's off to the club, she's doing a makeup, maybe she tries on a few dresses, like a get ready with me outfit trial makeup tutorial. Now, this can be done as part of the model's normal day. It's going to be, way easier to get her to mix that in because 99.9% of girls put makeup on every day. It's kind of are given. So you just say to her, cool, every time you put your makeup on for an hour, just hop on live, just do it as part of your part of your normal day. And it should come quite naturally to them as well. I mean, girls, they're always putting makeup on, chatting with their friends, that kind of thing. It's it's quite a normal thing to do. It's also a lot less time consuming. These can be done maybe a little bit quicker. So let's say it's like an hour long, something like that, instead of the whole 2 hours, but maybe just a little bit more frequently. And obviously, it's way less likely to get reported and banned. There's pretty much a 0% chance it's going to get banned, unless she says or does something stupid. Because at the end of the day, she's just putting makeup on her face. Now, this works quite well if the model's already got an initial following of guys that know she's on OF. Now, the reason that works well is because, let's say they're scrolling down and they see, oh, it's I don't know, it's Yan, my favourite OnlyFans model, and she's doing a makeup tutorial. I'm going to see what she's doing, right? They know it's OnlyFans, so they're going to be engaged, and they're engaged in that kind of way. But if the model's not got a huge amount of followers, it doesn't work quite as well, because they're not going to know that she's specifically an OnlyFans model. They may just think, oh, it's just a random girl that it's a random girl that's doing her makeup. If the guy's scanning down, personally, I would never ever stop to look at something that says makeup tutorial unless I already knew what the girl was about. So that's kind of a little bit of a downfall with this, is that you're not going to really be hitting the target audience, and it's obviously way less likely to convert to OnlyFans because it's not really explicitly mentioned. You can maybe imply it. Test it out for yourself, guys. But the idea is you just want her going on TikTok Live as a bit of a standard practice. This is the more high volume approach, if that makes sense. You say to her, whenever you're doing your makeup, whenever you're trying on dresses, whenever you have bought some new clothes, whenever you have I don't know, you purchase something, do an unboxing, more of the kind of the daily life live. That is the difference between these, if that makes sense. So yeah, cons, obviously less likely to convert to the OnlyFans, and less likely to pull in as many guys from the For You page on the basis it's not blatant OF promo. If a guy's going to click on a girl doing makeup or a girl bouncing up and down like she's sleeping with somebody, it's going to be the latter, isn't it? But yeah, that is a really, really useful little method if you just want to kind of integrate it into a day. Maybe it's a model that struggles a little bit with managing her time, maybe has a 9 to 5, whatever. That does work really, really well. Now, another method as well, which is quite an interesting one, is what I call like the whiteboard method. Now, what I mean by whiteboard is, I'm going to actually just click onto this here for you guys. You guys will know what I mean. So obviously, in terms of the whiteboard method, you'll probably have to purchase this model. Maybe the model will purchase it for themselves. This is in Durham, so that's literally about £15. Get your model a big whiteboard like that, and then what you'll basically do is you'll have the live captioned as writing new followers' names down. You can experiment with writing new subs' names down. Be careful, potential to get banned, but once again, really, really does work. Now, your model will basically sit in front of a camera. Obviously, get her like a nice little ring light setup like I've got on now. You can see it clearly, etc. Big whiteboard behind me. Let's say this wall here is a whiteboard, and she's going to be wearing maybe like yoga pants, crop top, whatever you want, something like that. Obviously, nothing overly explicit, but something that implies once again. Now, obviously, you have the whiteboard a little bit behind her, and every time that she gets a new follower, so you're going to have the live caption writing new followers' names down. You're going to have the whiteboard a bit behind her. Every time she goes to write a guy's name down, she gets the marker pen, she turns around, she doesn't obviously stands up or however she's doing it. If she sat down, they can get a bit of a view of her ass. She writes the name down, sits back down, and basically just kind of runs up like that. Now, obviously, the benefit with this, it will bring in a lot of followers. If you're scrolling through the For You page and it says writing new followers' names down, there's so many guys that are kind of craving female attention, the type of guys that are going to subscribe to the OnlyFans, which are going to be really like keen on this, like get a bit of attention from this cute girl, whatever. Works very, very well. Now, that will massively rocket the amount of followers your model gets. More or less every person that joins live is going to drop a follow, because why not? It's basically a little bit of free attention, as you say. Now, it's interactive as well. Interactive lives, as I mentioned, work way better than just the standardized ones. And obviously, it has that sexual element as well. Of, the yoga pants. People may kind of start to presume it's OnlyFans, that kind of thing. All right. So, really, really interactive. Great way to push followers. Now, the only cons of this really are, it's very labour-intensive for your model. Out of all of these, this is probably the most high effort. She's going to be up and down. She is writing names down. I know to you guys, this probably seems like, what are you on about that? She's just writing names down. But, imagine sitting down and having to stand up every 30 seconds to write a name down on a whiteboard for 2 hours. It's not exactly, the best way of spending your evening, is it? But it does really work. Now, the only other issue is it's only useful for joiners from the For You page, not her current followers. What I mean by that is, if her current followers are looking at this live and it says writing followers' names down, they already follow her. So it doesn't really work like that. So this works way, way better if your model's already got a good initial following, which means she's going to be pushed to the For You page quicker. Okay, and once she is pushed to the For You page, it can barrel out of control pretty quickly on the basis that there's so many people joining and following that just really, really cements the algorithm and pushes it forward. So it works way, way better for models with bigger following than this one. Now, there's another way of doing this, a bit riskier. You've got to be way more careful about how you go around it, but it is doable. Now, if the model has a free OnlyFans account, obviously this only really works with free accounts. You can't be expecting people to join off TikTok and pay $5 instantly. They've not been converted yet. But if the model has a free account, you can do a method of writing down the name of every person who subscribes. You've got to be really, really careful how you word things to avoid a ban. So it could be something like you've got on the whiteboard a chili emoji or whatever that she's drawn with like a red marker pen or whatever, and it's like new friends or something, and it's like writing down the name of everyone that jumps on my friends page, however you guys want to do it, right? That kind of method. Now it does work. The issue is if you get reported, obviously you're going to get banned. So once again, it's a little bit of a risky one, but it definitely does work. Probably going to be pretty low quality traffic on the basis that they've literally just hopped in off TikTok, but I dare say you guys will definitely make some money off it, especially if you've got a free account. If you're just trying to grow your free account initially, and obviously your model's pretty new, it's a really, really good way of going about things, getting that initial following in. Now, in terms of kind of how to actually pose this to your model, if you can get your model committed and set to a couple of key times per week, you're going to see really, really great TikTok growth. Let's say you say to her, cool, so on Tuesdays, Sundays and Thursdays, you're going to do a 2-hour live from 8 till 10, and you're going to try this week. You're going to do 3 lives of Q&A. Next week, you're going to do 3 lives of bouncing up and down. Next week, you're going to do 3 lives of writing names down on the whiteboard, whatever. All mix it up. The methods of kind of doing it week by week is obviously you can split test, but then obviously if you want to do 3 different methods, 1 per day of the week, you can still split test then. Just get her to make a note of the follows at the start of the live, follows at the end. There's actually TikTok analytics you can just screenshot and screen grab and obviously kind of have a look and see what works for you guys best. Now, if let's say you have, let's say you do the 3 different tactics, you find that on one of the days you gain 1,000 followers, one of the days you gain 100, one of the days you gain 10. That probably tells you the one where you gain, obviously, when you gain 1,000, that's the one you want to pursue full time. Find one that works with your model, make that a trademark, make her do it all the time. But make sure every month or so you do another week of split test to see, oh, okay, maybe my followers are sick of me bouncing up and down now. Maybe they want to speak to me and do a Q&A. If that makes sense. So, cool. You will see really, really great TikTok with this. It's just consistency is key. 3 set times a week. Now, what you want to kind of get it to a point where, the fans on TikTok or her followers actually know when she's going live. So she's live every Thursday, every Tuesday, and every Sunday from, 8 till 10 p.m. People know that. So they're thinking, oh, it's Sunday night, 8 p.m. We're going to hop on and, see what she's saying on the Q&A. It was a real blast last time. Or, she's doing a tutorial, whatever. Get it set down to, a specific point of time. It's not good just doing lives randomly and kind of sporadically throughout the day. There's absolutely no point whatsoever. So, yeah, get it set with her and, go over this with her in the onboarding lesson. Say, okay, we expect you to go live on TikTok 2 to 3 times a week. It needs to be on this day and this day at this time and this time. Now, get your model advertising the fact they go live on TikTok across all these platforms as well. Get her advertising it on her Instagram, on her Twitter. Get her advertising it on her OnlyFans. Why the hell not? You're going to have a load of people that are pretty much in love with her on there, just pushing the algorithm forward more. They're going to be even maybe donating through TikTok. They're going to be dropping likes. They're going to be doing all this, and that is just going to help to her general brand. If there's 100 people in a Q&A as opposed to 10 people, it's going to be a better Q&A with 100 people, isn't it? So promote it absolutely everywhere. And in the next lesson next week on Tuesday, we're going to go over OnlyFans live stream, which are obviously way, way different. But I thought that this was probably a good one to have as a full lesson on the basis that, there's 4 methods there that, are proven and work really, really well. You guys, I dare say, could think of your own methods. Maybe one that's worked very well in the past is like a watch along. So let's say there's like a new Netflix movie out or like a Netflix series everyone's talking about. So, for example, let's say it's like Squid Games. It's going to be like Squid Games watch along with me, and then just get your model to literally sit down, watch it, and, as she's watching it, have the people in the comments interacting with her. She's like, oh, I'm really scared, or they're like, oh, this bit was great, whatever. Do a watch along. Literally, the possibilities are endless, but you'll find something that works with your model, test it against the other ones, use the one that works the best. All right? Cool. I feel like we've gone over an absolute ton there. So feel free to ask away any questions you like. Wow, there's loads of you guys. Good stuff. Any questions at all? Feel free to shoot.
I have one. You mentioned about the watch along method. I meant to ask you, last time I was over in Italy, my sister, her mate does OnlyFans. They all do it, you know. Yeah. They're all influencers. And every time I was in the apartment, she has like an iPhone facing a tablet. And on the tablet, there's a rotating video of girls, dancing like. And I was always wondering what it was. This must be what she's doing. Is she like having it facing a recording video just of girls like I watched on just them doing stuff in their house?
There's little. If you can get a camera that's good enough, it can be like a recurring 24-hour live. You guys may have seen the lives where it's like people sleeping. Now, obviously, they're not actually live. They're just it's just like a looped footage, maybe like an hour or so. People are joining. They'll just keep watching it. Another one that was quite popular, like about a year ago, is those people that do like trick shots and stuff with like ping pong balls and ping pong bats. So they'll like hit a ping pong ball into a cup. And there'll be these lives of it, and maybe it's like an hour-long footage of them doing it. Every time it's an hour, it just really, really smoothly just cuts and resets. And then people are watching it thinking, oh, maybe they're hitting, thinking it's live. So there's methods that you can do with that. Not something we've done a lot of really. I think that the interaction part with them actually interacting with the followers and the potential subscribers in the comments works really well. IMNBT said, how about not even speaking on live yet? Seen that one as well. Once again, it doesn't really build quite as much kind of interaction or anything like that, but it's a really interesting one. It'll definitely get people joining and talking if she's got an initial following. Like, oh, why isn't this girl speaking? Like, what on earth's going on? Is she okay? Whatever. All those kind of things. You may have seen on TikTok recently as well. There's been a bit of a trend of people sleeping, and then there'll be someone like dressed up in like a scary costume in the background, and that'll be just literally on like a 12-hour loop as well. So yeah. It's definitely something for you to look into, bro. But these TikTok lives, if you do them right, will really, really rocket your followings up. Good stuff. Any more questions at all? Feel free. If everyone is all good with that, any other kind of outside of TikTok live questions, anything to do with TikTok in general that you guys want a few more answers on, or anything else, just feel free to just shout out. Anything you guys may have encountered this week that's been interesting, something you've seen. Well, if that covers it for everyone, then
I have a question.
Shoot. Hey, man, how you doing? You good?
Good, thank you. So I'm getting my girl's account set up, but I'm in Mexico, but I want to target the U.S. clients.
Yeah.
Do I set up the account like they're based in the U.S., but they have a Mexico ID, so I don't really know how the verification would work on that.
Yeah, so in terms of you mean setting up the OnlyFans accounts?
Yeah.
Yeah, set the OnlyFans accounts to just actually be in Mexico, because otherwise it's going to be really, really complicated with the IDs, the banking, and all that kind of thing. Set it up in Mexico. I know your idea was to essentially pretend that the girls are like these American girls, American dream.
Yeah.
I think you can definitely do that for sure. Obviously, if you're using the American Sims, you can kind of push traffic through TikTok that way. But in terms of like the actual fundamentals of the accounts, just do it with Mexico, because you're going to have to send the IDs in anyway, so it's going to be completely obvious. It doesn't really make any difference. You can put in the bio, you're from, I don't know, the girls are from Florida, the girls are from Miami, the girls are from LA, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. It's not going to make any actual difference to when they look.
I see. And then do you know if like they require a passport, or are they okay with just like a regular ID to set up the account?
The regular, it depends what ID. It's dodgy in different countries. So obviously in the UK, driving license is fine. US, exactly the same. If they've got like a driving license or something like that, it should be okay. The only time that we've ever really seen problems is for like obviously Mexico. It's a pretty first world country. The only time you really see problems when you go third world countries, so you're looking at places like Ecuador, maybe Colombia, things like that. That's when it starts to get a little bit sketchy, because they may literally just have like a native ID card, which it doesn't really fly, and that's when passports and things like that. But you should be okay. If you encounter any problems, bro, just direct message me on Discord and I can help you out. Okay,
cool. Thanks for that.
No worries, brother. Jan said, can you buy followers to get to 1K so you can go live? Don't do that. The reason that you can't really do that is because you're then going live to no one. And then you need like initial people in it for them to be pushed elsewhere. So just get your model to get to 1K followers really, really quickly. Just get a post in the consistent TikToks. You should be able to do it in about a week or so, literally tops, maybe even a couple of days. But yeah, don't be buying followers, because she's going to be going live. There's going to be 0 viewers. She's going to become unmotivated. That's not a good way of doing it. is it a good idea to have live details in the TikTok live? Yeah, 100%. In the TikTok, say live every, let's say it's Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Live every Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 8 till 10, and whatever like that. It just works. If they're following you, if they're going to be seeing your content, they're going to be clicking on your account, then they're going to be seeing things like that. But obviously, obviously you have a limited amount of TikTok characters in your bio, so just be really, really careful that you're not filling that up. You want to still have the kind of the OF prompt to try and push them over to your Instagram as well. But 100%, man, if you're going to go really heavy on the live route, you can definitely have the details in the bio. Any more questions? Feel free.
I have a question about model lifetime originally. So basically, I was wondering, what are some of the responsibilities of the manager and the model? So for the manager, I know that I should be doing the chatting, and I should be editing the OnlyFans profile, the description, all of that, bio, everything, And for the model, she should be focused on posting social media, so obviously recording the content and posting it on TikTok. Is there anything that I'm missing?
No, sure. So it's interesting you mention that. Now, we still don't have a standardized kind of format for that, because we find that certain models like doing certain things. Like, let's say you have a model who really, really loves her Instagram. Maybe she's an influencer. She's got like 50K. So she does OnlyFans, but she's also getting brand deals, things like that. She's not going to want you logged in on that main Instagram. There's no two ways about it. So she's going to have to do the OF promotion on her Instagram. Doubly, right? Usually 99.9% of the times it'll be you guys that are exploring Reddit, Twitter, that kind of thing. But we have a model in Australia now. She's a data analyst by day, so she's actually in a really, really senior position in a company. Does OnlyFans on the side. Now she's got a lot of experience with Reddit. She's a data analyst. She's got all these various things going on. So she said to us, like, cool, I want to do Reddit. I'll just look after that myself. I'm already in a routine with it. I was doing it before you guys. Why don't you guys just focus on Twitter? And just basically do it like that. So it's really a case of you actually having that initial conversation with the model. Obviously, TikToks are going to be something that the model will always have to produce. But in terms of Instagram and Reddit, it's just whatever you agree with her. If she doesn't want to give you access to her main Instagram, then she's going to have to do the promotion on there herself, and vice versa. So yeah, just have that conversation with her initially. Talk to her about what she enjoys doing, what she believes she is good at doing, and you kind of pick up the rest, if that makes sense.
I see. That makes sense.
The least work for you, the better. That's kind of the idea, really, bro. So when she said I'm going to do all the Reddit myself, that's great, because she clearly enjoys doing that, and that's something that she's had success with in the past. So why would we kind of jump on board and overtake that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. And also another thing, basically setting up the Wise account for her, and it's asking for deposit and. In terms of the verification, so it not only asks for the verification for the person, so the ID, but it also asks for a deposit. Is that even normal? Because I remember creating a Wise account for myself, and it never asked that.
Interesting. It's asking for a deposit. Did you choose personal or business? Did you choose personal?
Personal. Yes.
Okay, interesting. I'm not entirely sure. I know full well as of yesterday, because I hopped on Wise yesterday, and they've obviously done a massive kind of reskin of it. If you actually go on Wise, it looks like a completely different website now. You guys have probably seen it, that they go on it regularly. So maybe they've changed something in terms of deposits. But what was it asking you for? Was it like a minimum amount? So obviously, if it's $5, just stick $5 in it. But what was it asking for?
It was $20, not a big deal, but also wanted to know, in terms of payments like this, I could definitely pay it, but in terms of payments and other expenses, I don't know. Is it fair for me to pay, or should the model pay, or do we split, or what's the process?
Yeah, sure. Well, stick that $20 in, bro. Just make a note of that being yours, and send yourself that extra $20 at the end of the month when you're transferring it out. It wouldn't really look good if obviously you start kind of charging it straight away for just little things like that. Just cover that yourself, bro, and send it back to yourself, in terms of the deposit. Now, it's an interesting question that you've raised there, and once again, it's a model-by-model basis. If you're doing guaranteed games, you may be able to speak to the model, and she may agree to pay for half of the cost out of her cut. We've got some models that do that, but then obviously some models, are kind of wise to it and will be like, no, well, that's your job as a management agency. So it's literally whatever you can agree. This whole business is negotiations, people. So, have that conversation with her, and see where her head's at. So Isaiah asks, I have a question on the live topic: should the agency allow access to the OnlyFans account to the model or not? Yeah, so give the model access to the OnlyFans account unless they're on a salary or something like that. If they're on a percentage, it can be quite motivating for them to come on and obviously see the numbers that you're producing. just makes it seem a little bit less sketchy as well, that you're not changing passwords, etc., etc. The only exception to that will be if you've got a model on a salary and you've got her agreed as a contract that she's going to provide you with this amount of content per month and you're going to take 100%. That's a completely different kettle of fish. But if she's on a percentage with you guys, 100% give her access to the account. Be open and honest with her. The issue is that there's obviously a lot of scammers, things like that, that'll lock them out of the account, try and take all the money. Don't be fucking with anything like that, guys. It's not good at all. It's really not good at all. It gives everyone else a bad name as well. Max said about go high level support. You talked to them with the site support and they said I need to reach out to you. Yeah, of course, man. What we may be able to do with you, Max, if you're having issues, we can just create you another account with a different email. So drop me a message on Discord and drop OFM Expert a message on Discord, our tech support, and he should be able to help you as well. All right. Good stuff. Well, that was a super productive call. I'll stop.
Właśnie ten proces kursu dopiero jest zgrane kurwa na tego, do przerzucenia na YouTube'a. A to wszystko.